Hey guys, what's up? My name's Jen. I'm a former flight attendant turned travel professional. Today we have a foodie beauty mukbang. Go figure. She has been in hiding for over 24 hours. I say in hiding because we are coming off of a cheating scandal that is not only disturbing, but also equally as disgusting. Her husband has cheated on her. It's been exposed to the internet and it has taken over girl world as we know it. So if you are looking for some of that action, go ahead and look up some other reactors. Over on the side of YouTube, we are only talking about the travel side of things when it comes to these girls, because that is what is in my wheelhouse. I'll throw in some opinions here and there, but pretty much try to relate everything back to travel. I think it's very interesting because Foodie is someone that is probably like my worst nightmare person to travel with. Zero preparation, zero thought that goes into it, really. It just amazes me whenever she travels or talks about her travel stories. So let's go ahead and take a look. It is a mukbang, so she's going to be eating, unfortunately. I'm also going to speed it up to 1.5 because she is so slow when she's talking. You guys are going to see that 1.5 is not even that fast. Her video will be linked in the description. She does talk about her journey from Canada to Kuwait. She flew Montreal to Doha to Kuwait. Let's go ahead and get the video started.
Hello, foodie beauties.
Hello, Beezers! Did you know you can now request a personalized video from me on
All right, so this says this was recorded before my weigh-in. So she recently did a video a couple days ago weighing in. She had lost 10 pounds. She has not been eating like she would have lost 10 pounds. So that's questionable to a lot of people. That is not my wheelhouse, nutrition, exercise, all that. So I'll let that be up to others to speculate on. But she said, so yes, I still lost weight, even though I've been eating more than lettuce, lol. The fact that she has to kind of explain herself because she knows what people are going to think. I don't know. I think it says a lot, makes her feel more inauthentic and not genuine, which I think is why people have a hard time believing her when it comes to her health and all of that.
Well, hello, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so hungry. No.
Oh God, her cat in the food.
Good girl. Stay. I'm having a pretty big meal. I'm really hungry. This is
It's
the first
a massive
big meal
meal.
I've had since coming back. I know I showed
Culture-wise, maybe in the US, it is for two people. Probably anywhere else in the world, this is like a 4-person meal. Look at how much rice and shrimp and stuff is on that plate.
my big breakfast together in the video, but I didn't eat that much. We had like a lot of leftovers. We still do.
Okay.
So let me just take
Of
a
course.
soda and get this ready with some fresh lemon. I'm just gonna squeeze all over my food. I don't know if you guys like lemon on your food, but if you haven't tried that, you must.
I do like lemon on most of my food,
Yes.
especially
So I have a
seafood.
shrimp platter here with some brown rice, shrimps.
Shrimp.
What's the plural of shrimp? Shrimp, eggplant.
If you didn't know, Foodie was an English major and she never finished college, but yeah.
Bread, fresh bread, tahina, mabuch, and some kind of salad with like juices, vegetable juice. Yalla, let's dig in. I missed this stuff. Oh yes, I did. There's like little
So
French
many
fries
carbs.
mixed in between all the food. It's like whatever.
That's so weird. Why is there French fries mixed in there? It's so odd to me. It does not sound like it would taste good. Is that normal for Kuwait food? I have no idea to have French fries just like randomly. I've noticed that in her other meals too. There's French fries sometimes just randomly thrown in there just for fun. She's going to take a massive nap after this, after all these carbs.
So let's get into tahina. Do you guys like tahina? Shrimp. Let's dip it in the tahina.
1.5 speed, you guys. This is 1.5 speed.
You know how some mukbangers do that? When I take a bite of something good, I have a piece of French fry with rice.
For some reason, French fries and rice just does not seem appealing whatsoever to me.
I love this bread, but it has wheat germ on it, so it gets messy.
You're kind of a messy gal.
So I'm feeling the after effects of that journey back here.
From Montreal to Kuwait, she means.
I'm in a lot of pain. I have back pain that is so bad. And I learned something today that if you're on a long haul flight, especially if you're going to try to sleep, you have to recline. Like, I didn't recline the whole time because I'm afraid of being like, just being inconsiderate.
So, first of all, you do not have to recline. You can stay in your seated position the whole time. There are multiple different things that you can get for sleeping in a more seated position. There are those like blow up type devices. I'll try to insert a picture of them where you can put your hands through and lean forward on it, put your head down on it. Or there are different like kind of neck pillow type things where it basically just like holds your neck up and you can kind of just like go like this. So you don't technically need to be leaning back, but I do kind of understand. I'm kind of the type of person too that gets nervous about pushing back my seat, just trying to be considerate of others. I've also seen someone having their laptop out. This was when I was working on a flight as a flight attendant. The person's laptop, the top part had been opened and tucked underneath the tray table. And then the person in front of them pushed back their seat to recline and just crunched their laptop. So I get very nervous pushing back my seat, or if I have my laptop out and I'm working. And here's like a little warning to you guys too. Be very careful if you take your laptop out and work during a flight. Don't have it tipped under the tray table or even near the tray table. So that was kind of a mess on that flight. But I always kind of do make sure that the person behind me is not fully engaged in something that if I push back is going to be a big issue. Sometimes I get back pain from sitting leaned back for too long. I kind of move back and forth or I stand up and walk around. Find it interesting that she literally sat for that entire flight just sitting straight up. The flight, I looked it up, from Montreal to Doha is approximately like 12 hours and 10 minutes. So just over 12 hours. That's a long, long time for her and her physical conditions that she has talked about with us. That is a long time to be seated just straight and not moving. I wonder if she even gets up to walk around. Probably not. I don't think she's lying about how much pain she's in from this travel experience. I'll just say that I think she is probably hurting a lot. And girl, even reclining does not help that. You need to do some other things to try to help alleviate that type of pain when you're traveling.
It's a stupid thing because they make the chairs that way. And
To recline, yes.
good shrimp.
If you're trying to be more considerate of the person behind you reclining, just make sure that they're not engaged in something or eating when you recline. I mean, you don't have to. People just recline all the time and not look back. So it is kind of your responsibility to make sure that you're not doing anything like having your laptop in a vulnerable position to be crunched when someone reclines. When I was flying on Korean Air, they actually make everyone sit up and put their seats up during their meal service. And I think that is actually a very considerate thing. If you're trying to sleep, it's a little bit annoying. I think it gives everyone plenty of space and is just a more comfortable eating experience when you're being served the food on that airline. And then once the meal service is over, they turn off the lights, you can recline again. But I think that is something that I wish more airlines would do. And I think it'd be a better overall experience for everyone, especially when you're trying to eat and someone's reclined and you already don't have enough space. Or if you're someone who's bigger and you're already having limited space, having the person in front of you reclined is very tough. Again, though, that's not the person in front of you's fault. They can recline if they want. But during meal service, I think it's considerate to make sure that your seat is up. But that's just my personal opinion.
You can just lift it up when it's time for meal service, you know?
Right.
Friday plant, I love it. I've eaten from this place many times in Mukbang.
Cool.
Um,
Cool story, Foodie. 1.5 speed, you guys.
But-
This is
I'm regretting it because,
Whew.
man, my back, my lower back, and then sciatica, which is on my right side, goes down my leg. Hurts so bad.
I bet it does, actually.
Anyway, and I'm feeling jet lag, like actual jet lag.
So she says, for those of you who aren't familiar with Foodie, she's saying actual jet lag because she would fly from Kuwait back to Canada and then get high, and she would blame her behavior on being jet lagged. So kind of in the community, people refer to jet lag as being high. So that's why she's saying she's actually jet lagged. Things you can do for jet lag. Let's bring it back to travel. Hydrating is so important. And hydrating while you're traveling is important for many, many reasons and can be very helpful, but it does really help jet lag, especially if you're throwing some vitamin C packets in there. When you are getting on your flight and your destination time zone is during the day, make sure that you try to stay awake on the flight. Don't try to sleep sleep because you want to try to start adjusting yourself as soon as possible. If it's nighttime in your destination, then try to sleep a little bit and try to acclimate. So that can be something that helps when you get to your destination. If it's during the day, try to stay up as much as possible. Don't go to sleep right away unless you like completely have to, but trying to stay awake until it's actual bedtime or as late as you can. That can be very helpful. Going for walks as soon as you get there, making sure that you're not just in a dark room, that you are letting the sun come in so you can get acclimated to the time zone again and your body can kind of readjust. Being outside, getting some exercise, and then hydration. That really, really helps once you're in the destination. But it can start as soon as you get on the aircraft.
I cannot sleep for more than 2.5 to 3 hours at a time.
That I don't think is jet lag. Foodie. Usually when you have jet lag, your time zones are messed up, so you're sleeping more during the day or you're wanting to go to bed earlier, and then you're waking up in the middle of the night and can't fall back asleep. It's not usually like you sleep for a couple hours at a time here and there. You might be taking naps, but I feel like what she's referring to might be more of her anxiety. This is just my opinion. It could be her anxiety from everything she's been going through with Sala. I have a feeling that she is nervous about what her husband is doing when she is sleeping just because of this little cheating scandal. She's the type of person and has shown us in the past that that is kind of her cycle, to get hypersensitive and nervous and trying to control what the other person is doing after someone has cheated on her, which is unfortunate, but this is the Foodie cycle.
It's horrible. So I'm just feeling it a lot more.
I do think she probably is.
Yeah, I'm just...
Her health is the worst it's ever been, and she has told us that, and you can see it. So doing back-to-back really long trips like this is really hard on your body, especially someone who has a hard time just standing in line or walking, or even just sitting for long periods of time. I have no doubt that she is struggling. Rest, hydration, good nutrition, which we are not seeing from her, is going to be extremely helpful in getting her back to feeling better.
Anyway, it's so good.
I really think she should have a
Also
list of
gonna
like
get
talking
made.
points on the side
It's very common
beforehand.
for people to have maids here
Maids, okay.
because
I don't think anyone thinks you're gonna have a live-in maid.
I think...
Can you imagine Foodie having a housekeeper or someone that lives with them in the house, especially if it's another female? She's so jealous of other females, especially after this whole cheating thing. Having someone, even if they're having someone come in and clean up just a few things, I feel like she's going to be very nervous, especially if it's a younger female coming in with her husband's wandering eyes. That will be interesting. I'm just going to throw that out there now. If she even hires someone to come clean, she always talks a big game and never follows through with anything. Her only job is YouTube, and she's not going live and creating videos like she used to. What she's doing all day, I don't know. Cleaning could be something that is really almost like therapeutic for her, cleaning her space, getting some exercise, moving around a little bit instead of being so sedentary. I'm just surprised that she's going to bring someone in to do that. But also I can kind of see how if it's something you can't get yourself to do and you have the means to bring someone in to help you do that, having a clean space can really help your mental status as well. I know for me, I just work better. I'm more productive. I'm able to relax better when my environment is clean. Maybe it will do her some good to have someone actually coming in and cleaning instead of her having that responsibility.
I'm just going to swallow pride and do it. And hey, I give someone a job.
That's true.
It's actually so common that most buildings have like cleaners that come in and do the apartments, and you pay them individually, like each apartment pays them.
I promise she talks about travel a bit more.
Because especially right now, mostly because of my back and my health, like I'll just have more time to do other things instead of worrying about, like, you know, I think I mostly just want help with like the things that hurt my back the most are like vacuuming, sweeping, washing floors, the bathrooms. I won't have to do that.
Listing everything that needs to be done in a house. That's kind of funny. The list kept going.
So I think for me, that's a good idea.
Sure, Foodie. Let's see if you follow through with it. Imagine watching this at regular speed. I cannot.
So the setup is weird. I know. I never have a good setup. Sorry about
Look
that,
at that
guys.
tray of food. Is just ridiculous.
Anyway, I'll just take care of like organizing things, the laundry. That I don't mind doing.
That's
Maybe,
good.
cooking. So there's not going to be a live-in maid.
You could never with your jealousy.
They just come like whenever you want them to.
I find it so weird that there's French fries thrown in there, like an afterthought.
So yeah, that's my news. I don't really have much else to say.
Riveting.
I'm just really exhausted, feeling the effects, like I said, of this whole trip. It was hard. I don't want to travel anymore alone either.
I'm a big fan of solo travel just because, in my experience, it's been something that has really pushed me to grow as a person and to really learn a lot about myself. I wish she was more apt to do some traveling by herself just because I think she would get a better understanding of the world around her. I think when she went to Cuba, as disastrous as that whole trip was, I think it was kind of a turning point in her relationship with Nader as well, even though that trip's so bad on so many different levels. We always grow when we see other cultures. Even if you're just at a resort, you get to meet other people that live in different places. She went to an all-inclusive in Cuba and did not leave the property. But traveling solo, there's so many things that you can learn about yourself. I feel like people have such a hard time nowadays just being alone and being okay with that and sitting by themselves. Think about going out and eating dinner by yourself. Is that something that you can do? For me, this is something I love to do. I love spending time just alone with my own thoughts. It's relaxing. I can do what I want to do. That's why I also love to solo travel. Traveling solo can be something that really teaches you how to be with yourself and be okay with that. And I think it can really help you grow, especially if you're someone who is shy. You have to kind of problem solve yourself and figure things out alone. And then you are pushed to interact with other people more, especially like in her case, I can see that Sala would probably be the one who does most of the interactions with other people. And then I can see that he's probably the one that's like running to get like food or water as she's probably sitting somewhere. He's the one doing everything. So traveling herself is gonna push her more, and return put her in more uncomfortable positions, which we all know if you put yourself in uncomfortable positions, that's one way to help yourself grow and get more comfortable with those uncomfortable positions. But I can see why she is the type of person that does not enjoy doing that, because she doesn't like to do anything for herself. And if there's someone else that's going to do it for her, if you think back to when she was living with Pete, she had Pete do everything for her, even going and picking up her food that she ordered at the door and bringing it to her. She couldn't even do that. Having that person to do those kind of things definitely makes her life a lot easier, especially when traveling. I'm not surprised at all that she doesn't want to travel alone anymore. I think it would be good for her, though, to continue to do solo trips.
So I think that is better to travel non-solo for me. I was thinking of Thailand and reminiscing. We were reminiscing about our trip.
Oh, I have a hard time watching her eat. Ugh.
I would go back there. Not for that long, probably.
First of all, the fact that she says she's gone to Thailand, technically, yes, you went to Bangkok, but you did not leave Bangkok. I mean, I guess they went to Pattaya. I don't think they really did anything else. Being 6 weeks in Bangkok is hardly seeing Thailand. And then she refers to it as, vacation or a trip. And 6 weeks in Bangkok is more like you needed to get out of the country for your visa. I have a little bit of feeling that she is setting us up for another visa run with Thailand again. Thailand, as many people know, is very, very affordable. So someone with her alleged financials would be able to easily travel to instead of possibly another country. It's probably more affordable for them. I just have a feeling like talking about Thailand again, it's kind of setting us up to be prepared for another Thailand trip when her visa expires again. We know that Thailand, that weed is legal, which she has come out and pretty much fessed up to smoking still and doing edibles. As a Muslim revert, I wouldn't be surprised either if they go to a country where the weeds are legal so they can partake. That's a whole nother topic to get into. Feel like we're kind of getting set up for another visa run, maybe to Thailand, if she's saying she wants to go back.
Maybe for a couple of weeks or something.
It just like blows my mind. Like, you were just there for 6 weeks. Why don't you go somewhere else? You want to travel the world. You want to do all these things, with travel. Why would you talk about going back to Thailand after spending 6 weeks there? I mean, if you really loved it, she didn't love it though. She admitted that she wanted to go back home. She, I think, borderline hated it, to be honest, and the weather. But that's why I think they're setting up for another visa run to go to Thailand. It doesn't really make any sense. Why would you want to go spend another few weeks there? Go somewhere else, Bali. But it's also very foodie coded because she's already been there, so she kind of knows what to expect. I think everything that's going on, she's kind of reverting back to her own like comfort things. She's eating and recording herself doing mukbangs. She is trying to deflect into another weight loss healthy arc. She's talking about going to Thailand again, which she has spent a lot of time there. Even though she wants to travel the world, it's kind of within her comfort zone. Kind of seeing a little trend there. I think she should go somewhere else for sure. She did not just drink that dressing.
The vegetable juice is so good. They give you so much shrimp. It's so cheap too. When I was in line
I could not eat that much.
for the check-in counter,
Okay, back to travel. That's the thing too with Foodie. Why she probably wants someone else to travel with her too. She always talks about how she hates standing in line. So standing in line at the check-in counter, I bet that's something that Sala would actually do for her too. Once he gets to the front, I bet she would come up to the ticket counter then. But the fact that she had to stand in line by herself at the ticket counter, I can tell that probably was irritating to her.
for the check-in counter, it was boring just waiting there, and I could hear, the clerk saying, "What's your final destination?" Like the movie.
She would go there, first of all. But, they ask to find a destination because sometimes when people book their flights, especially going internationally, you need to make sure that when they print out the bag tag, if you're checking a bag, they need to make sure that it matches the destination that you're going to. Because if you booked your tickets separately or they're on separate PNRs, say that she did that or something got messed up with her ticketing and her baggage tag printed out Doha instead of Kuwait, then her luggage would go to Doha and sit in Doha, and she wouldn't go pick up her luggage. She'd get to Kuwait and realize that her bags aren't there. I mean, that's just the only reason that they're asking and double checking that. I think most people know that. But of course, her brain goes there. It's kind of funny, actually.
And I realized why.
What did you realize?
I can't believe it just clued in. I'm gonna make my own tahini sauce. I'm gonna be cooking, don't worry, but I need like a few
No one
days
cares.
to cry about my body being in pain so I can I just need to like feel better and then
How many of you actually think we're going to get cooking videos? I doubt it.
anyway, most people, because there's a connecting flight, like the plane from Montreal from Montreal to Doha. So
Mhm.
Doha, there's going to be connecting flights. So most of the people from Montreal that were on the plane were going to different countries.
Right. Because she was flying Qatar Airways, Doha is the capital of Qatar and the main hub for Qatar Airways. That is why Doha is a major hub for connecting flights. From what I know, I think it's a pretty large airport and one of the busiest airports in the world. I did look it up. It's in some cases it's listed in 2023 as in the top 10 busiest airports in the world. And other lists it's like top 15 busiest airports in the world. Airports like Amsterdam, Paris, Atlanta, LA, they're all going to be busy airports with many connecting flights. Atlanta is the Delta hub. We have Denver as the hub for United. We have the American Airlines hub out in Texas. So those are going to be very busy airports as well. I think it's funny that she's just realizing that, but she hasn't really traveled that much. At least she's starting to get the big picture a little bit of traveling. Maybe there's like a little glimmer of hope.
And they were just going to Doha to connect, right? So,
Right.
For example, one guy was going to like Chennai,
Okay.
there's Karachi,
Different
just different parts
cities.
of the world.
Yep. That's common.
It was interesting. Maybe a lot of people going home after the holidays. Which I was like, I wonder how busy it's going to be.
Flying in early January, there are going to be still some holiday travelers, but it is not the busiest time to travel for holidays. The thing with this is that because Doha is one of the busiest airports in the world, it's going to always be busy. I think maybe there was some holiday traveling still, which amped it up a little bit.
It wasn't horrible. I don't think I've had a horrible experience like with an airport that was just too busy.
I love how she talks about like she's this big traveler. I think she's literally only been to 4 to 6 airports. Let's see, Montreal. I think she might have flown out of Toronto once. Cuba, Doha, Kuwait, Bangkok. I might be missing one out of those airports. The busiest airport's going to be Doha. The other airports are not that busy. So I don't know. I've just keep in mind that her experience is very little and very limited. She talks this big game like she's this big old traveler, but she really hasn't done that much. She just realized that there's airports that people connect through and go to many different destinations.
Have any of you been through that?
Through a busy airport? Yes, many times.
I heard the Heathrow Airport is bad, but I don't know. I've never been.
Heathrow Airport is, I think Atlanta consistently is number 1 or number 2 busiest airports in the world. Let me see if I can pull up a list here. The busiest airports in the world. I have the top 8 in 2023: Atlanta, Dubai, Tokyo, Heathrow, Dallas Fort Worth, Denver, Istanbul, Los Angeles. I 100% agree with all of these. Heathrow is just busy in general. You do have quite a few connecting flights there too. Atlanta is absolutely insane. I would love to see Foodie go through the Atlanta airport if she thinks Doha is busy. Those of us from the United States, 3 of those airports are all in the US. For me, it's actually very strange if an airport is quiet and not busy. I find that a little bit eerie, and it's very different because I'm just used to always being in busy airports. I am probably in Atlanta way more than I care to admit. And then the Heathrow Airport is probably an airport that I'm in the most outside of Orlando, especially lately. And Heathrow is very busy, but it's also very, very big. Tons of walking, which Foodie would absolutely despise. Also kind of random that she just randomly brought up Heathrow. So I wonder if she was watching something or looked something up on this. She's never talked about Heathrow Airport before, or London, I think, really ever.
Enough bread for me. Put that aside.
Put it aside for later.
Airport, how it goes is you have to go, if you're arriving, you have to go to a special, like, let's say, how do I explain it?
Customs?
Like different areas of the, I don't even know what it is. You go down the stairs and you have to pass through these kind of officers, and they like take your
customs, border patrol,
not like police officers, but like it's almost like customs, and but there's like for different ones.
Almost like customs. It is customs.
So anyway, that day that I came back, there was a line up the stairs. Like, it was busy. There was like a huge line wrapping around.
I think she's just referring to, depending on the type of passport you have, which line you go into. If you've ever traveled internationally, come into customs, you know that they'll say, certain passports this line, certain passports this line, and then maybe there's a third line. Just kind of depends. I think that's what she's talking about. And yes, customs can be extremely busy, especially if more than one aircraft has landed at the same time or relatively same time, and everyone's trying to go through customs. There's been times where I've had hours, and it's mostly going back into the United States. I hate to say it. All of them. London is so easy now going through customs. It's really, really, really fast. I absolutely love it. I wish other airports would adopt their method. It's just funny that she calls herself this traveler and all of this, but she's just realizing these little things like this. But yes, Foodie, that is customs. Those police officers are agents, border patrol. I believe that's what she's referring to.
Around and going up and down and all around. And I was like, oh my gosh, I walked all the way to the back of the line.
Yes.
And then thank goodness somebody came up to me, one of the workers, and was like, ma'am, you don't need to be in this line. It's for people who need like a certain paper, certain visa. I'm like, oh. So I got to go right through.
So I'm guessing she was like standing with her Canadian passport out, which is interesting. I wonder if she's going to give up her Canadian citizenship to become a Kuwaiti citizen. I wonder if she's ever going to get to that point. So that could be something interesting to follow. But I'm sure she was just standing there with her Canadian passport out, and one of the workers noticed and was like, you don't need to be in this line. Definitely shout out to that worker, saved her a ton of time. Things you can do to try to alleviate some of that wait at the border, get global entry. Although it's not accepted everywhere, it can help choosing a flight time that comes in at an odd time, so you're not arriving midday with a bunch of other flights coming in. That can also help, but it's just kind of something you gotta go through when you're traveling to another country. Luckily that worker found her.
So I was so tired and stressed out.
She says she's so tired and stressed out like no one else is. It's so funny how focused on herself she is. In that situation, everyone's tired and stressed out. So she had been at that point traveling for just over 13 hours. So yes,
and then I had to get
she's not special for being tired.
I don't know why, but I can never forget what my luggage looks like. Like the intricate details. It's like black suitcases.
Oh, the fact that she's going to drink that dressing again is so gross to me. Okay, one thing when I was working in the airline industry, when someone would lose their bag or we needed to retrieve a bag or anything, you ask for a description of their bag, they would always say black bag. So if you are someone that has a black bag, make sure you put some sort of distinction on it, add some personality to the bag, tie different color ribbons to it, have a luggage tag that's a little bit unique or a different color. Make sure you know the brand of bag that you have, any kind of characteristics to the bag that's going to make it different besides just saying it's a black bag. I just got a new bag for Christmas, actually. It is an iFly suitcase. I absolutely love iFly. This is not sponsored whatsoever. For an affordable piece of luggage, iFly, I absolutely love them. So that's why I'm super excited to get. I didn't have a larger hard shell suitcase, so I got one and I was able to pick it out myself, even though it was a gift. But I got the like a beige color just because I could not get myself to get a black suitcase. Again, trying to be different, but usually I will have ribbons tied to it. I will have luggage tags on there. I also recommend putting a luggage tag, or even just if you write on a piece of paper or something, your information and put it inside the luggage, because if those tags and stuff get ripped off during the travel process and at some point someone goes inside the suitcase, there's your information in there, so it could maybe still get to you. That's something that I do when I go on bigger trips. I also got air tags. I'm a little late to the game. Those are obviously a great way to further track your luggage as well. So, and to be fair, like this is not something that she's just struggling with. This is a lot of people. It amazes me how many people have no idea what their suitcase looks like and just know it's a black suitcase, and how many times people accidentally grab the wrong suitcase or forget that they even brought a suitcase in the first place and just leave without it. People do that with their backpacks and stuff on the aircraft too. That always blows my mind a little bit. Ugh.
Yeah. So how many people have black suitcases? You know what I mean?
Most of the people.
I need to put name tags on my luggage.
You're telling me she traveled all that way with no name tags on her luggage? If you don't have a name tag, please ask at the front check-in desk for a luggage tag, or sometimes they just have them sitting out and they give you like a paper one. And I would not recommend just having that on your bag, but if you have nothing else on your bag, no luggage tag whatsoever. I mean, I shouldn't be shocked that she doesn't or didn't go through the effort to put one on her bag, but you can at least do that at the front counter and have some sort of tag on your bag just in case. Oh man, I would be so stressed out if I traveled with her. Never in my life would I want to. I don't think I could handle it.
That's one of the things I find the hardest about traveling is being prepared, because if you're somebody like me who's not usually lacking organization skills and things like that, you know.
Except for she just said she's going to be the organizer of the house earlier. This, if you find yourself like relating to this whatsoever, a travel agent can be so helpful because they do all the organization. They think of all the logistics and everything for you ahead of time. Get everything prepared. That way you're just kind of showing up for your trip and don't have the stress of trying to put things together. They are there to brief you on things that you need to know as well and be prepared for. A foodie would really benefit from having a travel advisor helping her plan. I think she would even save a lot of money instead of doing these spur of the moments, whatever she feels like traveling. She is the type of person that would really benefit from having someone that plans travel for them, even though she might not think that. Will she ever work with a travel agent? No. Would I ever want to work with her? No. But it is something that I think would help her out. And that's exactly what they do. She doesn't like to plan. She doesn't like to organize. That's exactly what a travel agent does. Just if you have any of those kind of feelings whatsoever too, having someone do all that for you can make your trip so much less stressful and so much more enjoyable.
Anyway, thanks for watching and having this meal with me. Just thought I would catch up.
You're welcome. Okay, that's it for the foodie video. I just wanted to get this quickly out there. I haven't done a foodie react in a while. I don't know if she's going to keep traveling and how many more videos like this we're going to do. They are just painful to sit through, if I'm being honest. I think it's entertaining a little bit to see a side of the spectrum of traveling where someone is so ill prepared and has no idea what they're doing. It's kind of interesting sometimes, but I appreciate you stopping by and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.